Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Jaximus Live, the show where basically I'm just driving, cameras on, and we're talking about everyday shit, everyday things, everyday stuff, everyday problems, and stuff that's on my mind. Time is now 11:45 on Friday night. Just watched the Minnesota Wild, or just listened to the Minnesota Wild get their ass. Well, they didn't get their ass handed to it. It was 4-2. They ended up playing, and they ended up losing tonight. And they played Calgary. They play Vancouver tomorrow. They play the Canucks tomorrow. And then they come home against Anaheim and finish out the regular season. But, we'll see how that goes. There'll probably be play-by-play tomorrow night, if anybody cares. Or I'll probably be busy up at the Minnesota After Dark car show. I was supposed to go meet up with a friend of mine. Her name's Abby, and she just got her mouth worked on. She had a toothache, and now she got a filling and everything done. And she's a friend of mine. She's a girl that I'm talking to. But I had some car problems and I had some car trouble, so that's why I'm not going, because my stupid Mini Cooper, for some damn reason, decided to break one of the dust shields. It came off of the disc brakes. So a dust shield is a thing that the brake dust catches onto, and then what it does is it spins around when it breaks loose. So it broke loose, and basically it's spinning on the rim. And it sounds like metal on metal, contact. But maybe tomorrow somebody will help me take it off. If not, I'll probably just go over to Discount Tire and throw them a couple of bucks and say, hey, can you take this friggin' dish shield off my damn car? I would like to hang out with friends from Minnesota After Dark and make a video out of it and post it on the group chat, or posted on the Minnesota After Dark page, how to remove dust shields. Because that's what Minnesota After Dark does. They remove, they do car-related videos on their stuff. And I'd like to hang out with people from Minnesota After Dark. I don't really hang out with a lot of people, but I really feel like I stood up Abby, and I really feel bad about it. But I didn't, because, I had car trouble, and I have to go get my car fixed tomorrow, so I have to get it done. So yeah, and we were gonna have lunch, but one of the things that I'm really upset about my life is that ever since my ex-wife and I stopped talking to each other, and I'm on my own now, I just don't feel like myself anymore. Somebody said to me tonight that they, when I was driving on a bus, on one of my van shuttles, I had a passenger, I took her up to Brainerd, and she said to me, she asked me if I ever had therapy. Where I talked to my therapist, and I've gone to people, I've gone to therapists, I've sat there, and I've had a therapist write notes in front of me, and everything else. And one of the things that really got me about therapists is that they sit there and they write notes about you, but they don't tell you what they're writing. And sometimes you think that they're just writing something where you feel like, are they writing something bad about me? Or are they saying that I'm crazy? Or are they saying that I'm dumb? Or are they saying that I'm stupid? And you think that, you're totally just sitting there waiting for them to throw you in a straitjacket and put you into a padded room. And it feels like that every time I go and I talk to a psychiatrist, or it feels like when I go talk to somebody about my problems, and they're like a doctor, or they're like a medical person that doesn't know anything about me, like a psychiatrist or something like that. You sit there and you talk to them, and you try to make them, you try to tell them things about your life, and you try to come out and be straight up and honest with you, but they always seem like they're writing something bad about you. And they never tell you what they're writing, but then you feel like you're just like, yeah, they're probably writing, a thing, or they're probably like, yeah, this guy's nuts, or this guy's crazy, or this guy loses his mind and stuff and everything, and you don't really even know what the hell they're writing. You just kind of sit there and you just are like, you kind of just sit there and you're like, shit, what did I do wrong? You talk about your life, you talk about how your family makes you feel like you're like not the same, like you don't have anybody in your family that really can trust you, because you just feel like everybody in your family doesn't like you because you're the baby of the family, or you're the black sheep, or you're the one that kind of just sits there in the back of the room and just kind of goes, well, what the hell am I supposed to do? And like, what is supposed to happen? And like, how is this supposed to concubine, or how is this supposed to comprehend for everything that's happened in my life? Well, how do you go about feeling like you're sane or normal or not insane or not, down and depressed or in the dirt or in the dumps, but every day you feel like you're a loser, And I've gone to a lot of psychiatrists. I've gone to 3 of them. Now, one time I went to a psychiatrist, and I said the reason why they sent me to a psychiatrist was because I had pain in my foot. And I said that I have so much pain in my foot that I want to kill myself. So they took that serious. And I was just exaggerating, because sometimes they think that when people say stuff like that, they actually mean it. But I had so much pain in my foot that it hurt so much. But now I don't have that pain anymore, because I'm doing what I like doing, driving. Because I was standing on my feet, I was standing on my feet. I was standing around. I was, doing stupid shit. I was working for a job that sucked. I was on my feet all the time. I like driving. Because I'm not on my feet. I'm sitting down, for long periods of time, and I'm driving a van. And now that we don't have cruise control anymore on the vehicle, you have to control the vehicle. So you have to feather it with your foot and everything, which is fine. Which I don't have a problem with. I like it. I don't care. I like it, okay? Other people have issues about it, which I don't really think it's that big of a deal. But anyway, so every time I go to a psychiatrist, I feel like I'm just, getting myself ready for the nut house and everything else. And, but with dating, I don't even know if I want to date anymore. Like, I've been on the stupid Facebook dating app, and, that's how I met Abby, and I met a lot of other women so far. But then I have these random ass bitches or random ass people who send me messages all the time, and they send me things like, hey hun, send me a friend request so that you and I can talk, or or hey, do this, because I really think that you and I should talk. And I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to anybody unless they video chat with me. Now, there's a girl named Lilith. Yeah, there's a girl named Lilith that I met, or that I talked to, and she's a little bit on the gothic side, but that's okay. That's who she is. That's her personality. Nothing wrong with that, nothing wrong with that at all. And, she messaged me the other day. She asked me how I'm doing. And I told her that I was sleeping, and I was. Because I usually sleep all the time, and then I go to work. This Saturday and Sunday, I don't have work. I'm off, and I got to get my car fixed, which sucks. I got to figure out how to get my car fixed, and then I got to go and do things, with Minnesota After Dark. But I don't even know what we're doing tomorrow. Well, tomorrow, or today in 7 minutes. I have to get my taxes done, is another thing. I'm trying to get those freaking done. I'd like to go get a loan, because I'd like to get some stuff taken care of, because I'd also like to get my divorce finalized, and I'd like to have some money. But the thing is that every day, there's always big challenges. There's things that come in my way. There's things that happen, and I would like to be able to just get some things taken care of and some things knocked down. But I haven't been able to do that. And, there comes a time in a person's life when they need to realize to themselves that they have a motivation that is right there, but they just don't feel like they can grab it ever. And somebody told me, Jack, maybe you should go to a casino. Maybe you should go, try to play some blackjack. Maybe you should go try to win some money that you don't have to pay back, like a loan, and see what happens. But then here's the thing. I feel like if I go there, I'm going to blow my whole entire wad, and I'm going to be stuck. I work so hard, but I don't get anywhere. And I feel like every day is just another challenge in life, to where I would love to have money, but I don't see it ever happening. And one of the things that I wish that would happen to me is, or we all wish this. We all wish this. We all sit at home someday and we wish that we could have, the money. We could have the money in our account tomorrow. We always wish that we could win the lottery and have the amount of money that we need to pay our bills and our debts, or more than that. And like, some people want $1 million. Other people want $100 million. I mean, because they think that if they had $100 million, their life would be different. Things would change, But the thing is that when you get that $100 million, or you get that $1 million, are you going to be satisfied? Because it's like some of these girls with plastic surgery. Now, there are girls that go out and get their stuff done, and then they're not happy. They want to get them bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, until the point where their back hurts. Yeah. I mean, I watched a documentary one time on a chick who had surgery done so much that she can't even walk anymore. And so they told her that if she literally kept on going bigger, she was going to end up hurting her back, or she was going to end up hurting herself. Did she listen to them? No. She kept on doing what she wanted to do. And then eventually she died. Yeah, I don't remember who the actress was, but it happened. It was one of those things. But the one thing that you have to understand is, if you ever win the lottery, are you ever going to be happy with the amount of money that you won? I mean, because we've all played the lottery and we've won like $25 here, or $100 there, or $1,000 there, or whatever. But after we won it, we weren't happy we got it, because we spent it already. Yeah, we spent it. We did what we had to do with it. We went out and we spent it on ourselves, which is something that people do. But see, I keep on sitting here going through my bills and my finances, and I keep on thinking to myself, hey, all I need is about $50,000 and I can take care of all of my debts and be done with it. But then I would like to have $100,000 so that maybe I could go out and have a little fun after I spent all my debt off. But see, that's where people get greedy. And that's where things happen. So people get greedy. But see, I also would love to be able to get a new wardrobe because I don't have clothes that fit me. I'm wearing all these clothes that I got back in the day when my mom gave me money or when my mom gave me stuff. And I'm going through all my clothes, I'm putting my hands up in the air, and my belly button shows. I'm trying to get clothes that fit me, that make me feel like I matter. Like I'm not some fat shit douchebag who can't keep his fucking fat roll down because he's overweight. Yeah, the one thing is that I don't have clothes that fit me, but yes, I'm also a fat, lazy asshole who doesn't like to work out. No one likes to work out. No one likes to go home and take the effort and do it. Because we also would like to have somebody in our life to do it with. I would love to have a girlfriend or a wife or somebody that likes to go to the gym. Somebody that would like to work out with each other and then come home and do cardio in the shower, But I've never been able to ever be happy. I mean, when I said something about working out to Joe, she was like, well, yeah, but how do you want me to be? And I said, I want you to be happy, and then I wanted her to, get fit, be fit. And I said, be how you want to be, if your boobs touch the wall before your nose touches the wall, that's fine. But I mean, you have to want to do it yourself, not be me, okay? But see, Joe, she was her own person. But see, nowadays, with all this dating, with all this shilajit, with all this ashwagandha and all this stuff, every time you turn around and try to do workout stuff or talk about working out, you get boner pills on your fucking Facebook page. You get stuff showing you that, yeah, you can have a bigger pencil if you take this, if you work out with this, if you do this, if you do that. But the thing is that you have to work out. And nobody wants to work out. Nobody wants to sit down and take the time out of their busy schedule to go to gym, tan, and laundry, to do what everybody did on the Jersey Shore. I mean, yeah, we all want to look like The Situation or Ronnie or Paulie D or anybody on the Jersey Shore. I mean, dude, I would love to be a guy who has, 24-inch arms, a big flat, like a big turtle shell stomach, and not feel like I'm, not feel like when I eat a burger or a chicken sandwich from Wendy's, my ass jiggles for 10 damn days. Or I feel like a sluggish fat turd who can't do nothing, That's exactly how I feel every fucking day. And, I don't do these videos just because I want you guys to feel sorry for me or I find out who my friends are. The thing is that, I just tell you guys this because this is my life. I really like to, interview myself and do my own thing. Like I said, I've always wanted to do Ed TV. I've always wanted to do my own TV show. I've always wanted to do Jacksomus Live or Jack TV or something like that or something to that extent. Because the thing is that I feel like the whole world needs to know who I am, but I don't know why. I just don't understand that. But I've always wanted to be on a TV show like the Jersey Shore. Yeah. Did you know I've always wanted to be on a TV show like the Jersey Shore, where I've wanted to have my own late night talk show like the Stephen Colbert Show or something, but I would always I've always wanted to have my own show like Wayne's World. That's what I wanted to have. Yeah, I wanted to just entertain people and then meet people and talk to them and go to places like the red carpet or go to something, but be unscripted, meaning that the government can't control what I say, you know, or they can't control what I say, because the thing is that I like to be unedited and unscripted, because I just say random stuff because that's how I am. I mean, I don't care what anybody thinks of me. If you don't like me, change the station. But one of the things that I wish more and more people would do is I wish that people would just understand that there are a lot of, basically, these are like, you know, these are, I call them groom confessionals is what I call it. But, you know, but I call it Jack Smith's Live because it's me and it's my live show, and I'm doing it while I'm going down interstate and I'm driving a van. Because, you know, I love driving for Groom, and it's like Groom Confessionals is what I call it. Or Groomcast. But, because I love Groom Transportation so much. Groom Transportation is one of the greatest companies I've ever worked for, and I love them. I love them. You can save $5 by booking online at groomtransportation.com. If you ever need a shuttle down to the airport, Brainerd, Baxter, Rochester, Duluth, Eau Claire, and St. Cloud. I mean, Groom's all over the United States, man. We're everywhere. And, you know, we're a great company. You know, if you ever need, you know, a shuttle down in the villages of Florida, we're there. I mean, just go to groomtransportation.com and you'll find out where we can always be. Because we're everywhere in the United States if you need us. We're a good shuttle company. Yes, that was the pitch, now the play. So, the one thing that a lot of people have told me, Jack, they're like, you know, or they say, Jack Smith, you know, you lived a very different lifestyle. Little did I know that, you know, I've lived a weird lifestyle. My life has been completely and utterly, like, different. I mean, I love my parents. I mean, my mom and dad are great people. My sisters, you know, they're not much on social media, but I love my family. You know, people think I lived a really weird lifestyle because I talk mostly about me and not about my family, because my family was there for me when I needed them. But 90% of the time, we don't talk like we used to. I don't talk to my parents much anymore. I'll see them. I'll hear from them after like 4 months or 5 months. They'll message me and they'll be like, hey, we haven't heard from you. Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. But I'm not fine. I go through, so every day, a day in the life of Jack Craning, well, a week, a day in the life of Jack Craning for a whole week is basically Monday through Thursday. I go to work at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I drive people to the airport, and then I go to Brainerd, and then I'm done for the night. Friday nights, I go to Brainerd first. I come back, then I go to the airport. I pick up passengers at 1:30, and then I go home, and I'm done for the day. And this weekend, I just happen to have Saturday and Sunday off like I did last weekend. Because, you know, I enjoy the weekends off, and I love having the weekends off. Because the thing is that I also have car shows going on in the weekends now, and I have to be with Minnesota After Dark. I also have a podcast for Minnesota After Dark, and I'm trying to do some stuff this week with them, and I'll get it all taken care of. Because we're going to start doing stuff with Minnesota After Dark. We're going to start taking and doing things with Minnesota After Dark, meaning that what we're going to do is we're going to start doing documentary videos and stuff about taking cars apart and working on them, because I like doing that kind of stuff. Minnesota After Dark is not just going to be your regular everyday car club. It's going to be a hands-on way to help people out working on their cars. And that's what I want to do. I mean, yes, I have a lot of automotive experience. I have about 28 years of automotive experience from reading books and reading stuff, being around cars, doing things, going to auto mechanic school, and also working in the industry. So, I've done a lot of things with cars, but my specialty is going around and being in the dirt or playing in the mud, or, what I want to do is triangle tracks. It's the mat tracks. It's I want to have a vehicle that has mat tracks on everything. Meaning that I want to put triangle tracks on every car that I've ever owned, and I want to drive them around with no more tires, because I want to drive around with the triangle tracks on. But people say that you probably won't be able to do that because, the tracks are probably illegal, but I don't think they are. I think they just have a certain speed limit or something that they want you to drive on, so that you don't run over somebody or you go off the road with them or anything like that. All I want to do is make sure that people are okay, and that people drive and do what they got to do, because that's what happens. Car on the side of the road, I'd love to stop, but I don't know why. I don't know why they were they telling me to stop. But see, most of the time, when a car's on the side of the road, nobody stops because they're afraid to get killed. Because sometimes when you see a car on the side of the road, you don't know if they're a serial killer, or if they're just trying to get you pulled over and then lure you in and then take your van away from you. There's all these kinds of people in the world that expect people to pull over. I would love to pull over, but there's cops for that. Cops can do that kind of stuff because they have the badge, But I just want to live my life every day and do what I want to do and be happy, and that's why I would love to be able to get myself taken care of and get loans taken care of and get things to happen where I don't have to pay for things anymore. One, I want to get my credit cards taken care of and get them paid off and then get rid of them. Because my credit cards, I pay money to my credit cards and I get them paid off. I try to. I work really hard to get the balances taken care of. I try to get my car payment done, so I don't have to worry about paying a car payment anymore. Because a car payment is over $300 every month. If I paid a $500 car payment, the thing would be paid off it'd be paid off soon. Because one payment would be $500, and the next would be $1,000, and then you do another one of those. But every time you get that payment down and get off your record, you're happier about yourself. But every damn time you do something in your life, you just feel like you're missing out on something. You feel like you're not happy. You feel like you don't matter. You feel like you're lost in translation. And it's one of those things in life that you sit back, you relax, and you say to yourself, why am I here? Like, what have I ever done to deserve to be here, to be in this situation, to be sitting here, to be, going 100 miles an hour down a road and trying to realize to yourself that you have nothing to look forward to. And everybody that I've ever talked to, they've always said, Jack, you're a unique person. You're a different kind of person. You have this mentality about you where you will do anything for other people and you'll take care of them before you take care of yourself. And why is that? And I've never understood. I've sat back and I've sat here and I've realized to myself that I have never in my life have ever really lived my life. I've never done anything for me. Like, I would go to places when I was a kid, like, if I really and truly wanted to go there, like, I would just walk there, and I would go there, and I'd do it. Like, and I wanted to explore Lemoore, the town, when I wanted to walk around town, I did. I walked around Lemoore like I didn't have a care in the world. 2 cap guns on my side, and, a sundress hat on. Yeah. That was when I was in the Lemoore Chronicles. When I was, about 4 or 5 years old, when I was young. Didn't care, But nowadays, when you're single and you don't have anybody, you don't have anybody in your life, you want to go do something, you just have to make sure you have money in your account and you have your stuff taken care of, and then you go and do it. And I want to do stuff for my company so bad that I want to get, camo claws to take off. I have to get new uniforms. I have to get new outfits. Because the thing is that I want to do more stuff with camo claws, like go to galas and go to balls. Like go to the holiday ball that's in St. Cloud, or go to the one that's in the Minnesota Wild thing, because you want to go to that kind of stuff because you want to look the part. You want to be who you are. But another thing about camo claws, the reason why I like doing it so much is because, one, I meet wonderful people when I do it. And I just wish that someday, something will turn around from it. And I keep on talking about turning my car into a sleigh. And the reason why I talk about it is because that car turned into a sleigh would be the coolest thing in the entire world. Yeah, you take a Mini Cooper, you chop the sunroof out of it, take the windows out of it, and you put mat tracks on it, and you drive it around in the wintertime, and that would be the coolest thing in the entire world, is to drive that car around, as a sleigh. People would look at that and be like, dude, that's so awesome. And there'd be nothing wrong with it. It'd be so cool. Yeah. And not only would you inspire people, but they would probably believe again. Or they probably would understand, Maybe camo claws is something cool. Maybe camo claws is something great. Who knows? But I don't really know. I just try to live my life one day at a time. And I really wish that, for those years that have gone by in my life, I really wish that there was more that I could do. I just feel excited about it. Because I don't. Because I just, after I lost my grandparents, my grandma and grandpa, my grandpa Bill and my grandma Lou, ever since I lost them, and my grandma Marge, I don't have any grandparents anymore. So I just, lose that. And then you wonder when you're going to start losing aunts and uncles, because I've lost, Keith. I I lost my Uncle David, actually. My Uncle David Craning. I lost him, not Keith yet. We haven't lost Keith yet, but I don't talk to him anymore. And he doesn't talk to my dad anymore. So you wonder when, that's going to hit the fan. You wonder when stuff is going to go downhill so bad that you're going to start losing uncles and aunts. And you're going to wonder, I never really talked to them much. So are they ever going to talk to me, or am I just another shadow in their, or am I just a phone name on their Snapchat, or am I just another person on their Snapchat? Is what I mean. Because everybody else has everybody to worry about too. I mean, like, my Aunt Patty, she's got her kids to worry about. She's got Tony and Emily, and then her grandkids and everything else. I mean, everybody's got their issues. Not everybody revolves around Jack. And that's what I've always said. I mean, live your life. That's what I say, live your life. Enjoy it. Because if you don't live your life, then how the hell do you know that you're ever going to be happy? I mean, because, I'm not going 71 miles an hour. I'm only going freaking 58 miles an hour. Douchebag behind me is going faster than I am. God, stupid fucking thing. Well, anyway, I'm saying that people live their lives every day like it's their last day on this earth, and they really have nothing to look forward to. I mean, me, I go to work every day. Coming here and driving these people for Groom Transportation is the best damn thing that I got going for me. It's what makes me happy. Because these people that I drive, they're counting on me to get them from point A to point B. And they love it. And then they tip me, or they tell me that they were like, the drive was great, the ride was safe, and you're a great person. And they appreciate me. But when I go anywhere, or do anything with my family or anything, I don't feel appreciated. I just feel like I'm another person. I've never really felt appreciated from my parents, ever. Never have. But I'm not expecting them to start loving me now. Because, why? Why do they have to start loving me now? And yes, I've gone back to drinking soda. I don't really care anymore. People can be alcoholics and drink so much goddamn beer, and they can get drunk all the time, and they put themselves in a drunken stupor and just hate their life, But when I drink a soda, I feel a lot better. I feel happy. I feel like I just got a little bit of a sugar rush. That's fine, but at least I didn't, put a bottle to my head and pull the trigger, and drink the bottle until I woke up and didn't know where the hell I was. I've seen family members do that too. I'm not my parents, but I've seen, other family members, drink themselves to where they were arguing, or to where they throw stuff at each other, and to where they fight all the time. And I don't think alcohol ever needs to be brought into any kind of thing, because I don't need to drink. What do I need to drink for? So I don't. But when I get down on myself, when I get mad at myself, I grab a soda. And I don't know why I do that. Soda's like my alcohol. It's like my addiction. But if you want to know something that makes me fat, gives me diabetes, and makes me feel like, Walter Grimley. I don't know, dude. I'm just kidding. I have no idea. I have no idea. It makes me feel like just, like I did something wrong, But people live their lives every day, Like people live their lives every day like it's their last day on this earth. At least I do anyway. And one of the reasons why I feel like it's my last day on this earth is because 90% of the time it is. I'm one of these kind of people who feels like sometimes I just want to go to bed and hope I don't wake up. Some days I feel like when I wake up, I go, well, hey, it must not have been my turn. It must have been not my time for me to die. But then I realized to myself that I missed out on a lot of things, like hanging with my friends or being out with the group of guys or gals. Or I missed that one great date where I meet this really, where I go out on a date with this really attractive girl and her and I, talk and we fall in love with each other. I missed out on that. And I sometimes think that I'm going to miss out on everything when I don't talk to my friends. I just finally got back in touch with a friend of mine. She was really cool. Her name's Emily. You guys know her. She used to be friends with Spencer. She used to ride, horses. And Emily's a really sweet girl. I love her to death. She's like a little sister to me. But actually, I really don't want to say that she's like a little sister because I actually like her to the point where I could see myself being with her, but she just can't see that, I don't think. I don't know why we've never actually really dated, but Emily and I would like to be with her. But, that's her call. She's somebody that, she lives her life, she enjoys it, she does what she has to do, and she's happy. Now, Joe's my ex-wife. Joe's a great woman. When I first met Joe, she and I were really cool with each other. And a relationship goes through stages. And we were in stage 1. We were together with each other. We did things together. We loved each other. And every day was a great day. And then we got to stage 2, where jealousy, depression, secrets, things got in the way, stuff happened, which the other person had no control of. I mean, things happen, bro. People have things that happen. Yeah. Facebook starts posting stuff on, they don't start posting things. They do friend suggestions. They do things that you have no control over. And then you're like, oh, I want to see less of this stuff. And I want to see less of this stuff. And I want to see less of this stuff. But it keeps on coming back. It keeps on doing shit. And yes, I posted some things about Joe that I shouldn't have posted. I posted things about our relationship that I shouldn't have posted. And yes, it was my fault. And yes, Joe and I are not together probably because of me. Because I have no luck with women. No. Because women only like the cuddly teddy bear for the first 3 months. And then after that, I'm an asshole. I'm a douchebag. Get the fuck out of my life. Don't ever fucking talk to me. I can't be with you anymore because you're just a narcissistic, fat ass bastard who doesn't do anything with himself other than masturbate and fucking play video games and other things else. Well, I don't play video games anymore. All I try to do is live my life. Do podcasts. I do shows about myself. I do music. I do all kinds of things. I'm working on getting my SoundCloud up. I'm trying to do freestyle country songs because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a screamer. I'm not a person who can do heavy metal, but I love heavy metal music. Yes. But to be 100% honest with you, I actually like country music. I like slowing things down, singing from the heart, and talking about problems and life and family. I can't, and some people say I can rap too, but I don't really talk about rap, or I don't really do rap much anymore. So basically I'm going to stick to doing something that I like, which is country music. But everything's been done in country music. But you know what? If they would start letting people drop the F-bomb every time, or saying swear words, or just being a twerky and saying what they want to say, they can. But country music is so far off kilter now, they think that fucking Beyonce is a country music singer. I mean, they gave her country music of the world, country music album of the year, and she had one damn country song. Beyonce ain't goddamn country. She started out with a group called Destiny's Child, okay? And she sang songs that were soul and rhythm and blues and, songs that were culture songs, basically, about boyfriends and relationships and shit. Basically the same goddamn stuff that Taylor Swift sings, Taylor Swift sings. So it's her same kind of music. There ain't nothing wrong with it, and if you like that kind of music, that's your opinion. You're entitled to your own opinion. Yeah, you can listen to whoever the hell you want to listen to. But Beyonce is not country music. Lainey Wilson, she's country music. Not just because she's a chick that wears a cowboy hat and wears jeans all the time. Lainey Wilson is a country singer. She sings country music just like Reba McEntire, just like, Tanya Tucker, just like, Martina McBride, Trisha Yearwood. Those are all country musicians. Shania Twain, she's a country singer. I mean, you gotta understand, there are women in country music that go out there and bust their asses every day to win country music album of the year from a female category, and Beyonce walks in there and steals it like the grubby bitch that she is. I mean, come on. You can't sit here and tell me that Beyonce won that category. Come on. That's like Justin Bieber winning, I don't know, let's see here. Best role by an African American male. So Justin Bieber wins that, and he's white. Boy, that would be a kick to the balls, wouldn't it? I don't know. You guys want to hate me for that one? Fine. That's my opinion. One man opinion. But here's the thing, y'all. Here's what you gotta understand. I like country music, and country music is gonna be what it's gonna be in the future. I can tell you right now that there's gonna be more country music, or there's going to be acoustical performances. Yes. And acoustical performances are going to be songs that basically have a guitar and just a singer. And that's how it is. There's that one guy who did that one song in West Virginia, and he did it all on an iPhone, and that is a song that he did on an iPhone. And you know what? He didn't get album of the year. He got single of the year, I think. But you want to know something? There's guys like Teddy. There's guys like Teddy that sings, Teddy Swarm, or Teddy, whatever his name is. He sings. The guy who sings, Feeling Tipsy. Shadazy, or whatever the hell his name is, or what, I don't know what his name is, but he sings. And he, he's a good singer. I mean, there's Dax. Yeah. There's Dax. There's also Quentin David, who started his song. Yeah. Quentin David just got his song, Honey, You're Right. He got that song on Spotify. He's a great singer. Has he played another song yet? No. Because he's working hard to get his music to take off. And I sure as hell hope it goes somewhere. Because he deserves it. I'd love to invest money in his music, but I don't have any money. Nobody invests in camo claws. They laugh at that. Yeah. They think, why the hell would I want to donate money to a camo Santa who's not even real? Who doesn't even go to like bars or restaurants or if he gave out presents, oh yeah, if he gave me money or gave me presents or gave me what I wanted, then I'd support him. Ain't that how it is? Like I always say, you gotta give something to get something. I don't know, man. There's not a day that goes by that I don't understand why people in this world say that you're friends with them, and then all of a sudden you turn around and it's always like you ask somebody to help you, and then they're like, well, what do you want from me? I just want to hang out. I just want to be friends. I just want someone to spend time with me, other than sitting in my apartment, laying there in my bed, curled up in a ball, wondering if I should just, go buy a couple of shells and put them in a gun and blow myself away, Because there are times when I sit there and I think to myself, I'm better off eating a bullet. But then I realized to myself that, hey, my friends would miss my ass. People at work would wonder about what happened to me. Everybody would wonder where camo claws went. So yeah, I do think about everything else. I think about things all the time. One of the biggest things that's on my mind all the time is why Joe left me. Why I've never had it good with the women. Why I've never had a good relationship. Why I've always been down. Why I've always been sitting here wondering, why is it only guys that like me? Like hanging out with and going with hanging out with guys. And why is it that I'm not, why is it that I can't have a woman next to me, sleeping in my bed? Yeah, I used to say that fat, ugly girls needed loving, so if they wanted a guy to cuddle with, my door's always open. I'm not looking for women anymore. I'm just fostering the ones that, are single and looking for a house. I mean, I just don't understand why. A guy like me, who is as cuddly and as nice as I am, would literally give a shirt off his back for a woman, and she turns around and walks all over me like I'm nothing. And I've done that for so many girls. Crystal Champagne, I did that for you. Gave you $300 fucking dollars. Well, gave you $300 that you probably were going to take from me anyway, because most of the time women just take money from you and you don't know it's gone until they take it. I mean, you took money from me. I gave you food, and I talked to everything, and I've done what I was supposed to do, and I've done all this kind of stuff. I've been nothing but nice to all kinds of women. And now I don't even want to date anymore. I don't even want to be around a woman that doesn't even like herself. You know, and Abby said this the other day. So I said something to Abby. I said, "You're glowing." And she's like, "Well, yeah, it's a dark and gloomy day. How could you say that I'm glowing? And how can you say that I look pretty? And and how can you say that I look like this and feel the way I do when you don't know what's going on in my mind?" Well, okay, you're sassy. You're a girl that doesn't even care about yourself, so how can you care about being with another man if you don't love yourself? People always have to say that you gotta love yourself people always gotta say you gotta love yourself before you can love somebody else. And there are times when I don't even love myself. I'm always down on myself because I'm always trying to be that nice guy. I'm trying to tell people, hey, you know something? I think you're really cool. I give you a compliment, and then you tell me to go fuck off. It was like when I walked into my apartment for the first time in October, around, 2 years ago, when I walked into my apartment, I met my next door neighbor, smoking hot girl, I said hi to her. I said, "Hi, my name is Jack Craning, live in apartment 3. And she's like, "Fuck you, I have a boyfriend." And I'm like, oh, I don't even remember saying anything about, wanting to go out on a date or wanting to do anything. I just said hi. And I said, well, if that's the way you're going to be, okay, I respect that. But, have a nice day, whatever. And I've done all kinds of things for her. Yeah. She's part of Scentbird. That stuff where you get different kinds of scents and body sprays and everything like that. Someone stole her shit. So the nice friendly gesture of a guy that lives next door gave her $40 gave her $60. Gave her $60 or $40. And I said, hey, I'm sorry that your shit got stolen. Go have a nice day on me. Being nice. What did she say? Not a fucking thing. Just told me to go fuck myself. Well, she didn't even tell me that, but she probably would say fuck you and not even thank me for giving her the money. Crystal Champagne. I talked to her. She said she needed $300. She needed $300. I gave her $300 in cash. After I made sure all my bills and everything were taken care of. And I gave her $300 cash. What did she do? Stop fucking talking to me and told me to go fuck myself. Because the thing is I'm one of these kind of people who's willing to help people, but I get walked all over all the time. And the reasoning is because I'm a nice person. But I get taken advantage of. And I don't have anybody who even gives two shits about me anymore and don't care about me. One of the reasons why I don't really give two shits about women anymore is because, one, I'm not their cash camel. I'm not a guy who gives two shits about them anymore. They can go fuck themselves. Literally, right in the ass. Go fuck off. Have a nice day. And, because I don't want to be around any woman anymore. I mean, I'm on Facebook dating, and I'm like thinking that every girl on there is just full of crap. The only way that anybody takes you seriously is if you have a blue check mark next to your name. But all I want to do is just go out to a bar or go out to a restaurant, take a girl out, have her eat, and have fun with me, and then her and I go back to my apartment, or we go someplace else, and we hang out, and we date a couple of days. My friend Zoe, she's, She's very cool. She's a very cool person. She's always looking for a ride all the time. She doesn't have a car, but she makes it work, and she tries to do what she has to do. I tried to get her a job. I tried to help her out, and yeah, I gave her money and I helped her out. And you know what? She goes back to a guy that she's already with, because I tried to help her out. I tried to help her out the best I could, but she's going to always go back to the guy that she's with. And that's how it always is with me. There's always somebody that they're with who's better than me and who's got everything going his way. Just because he's not a fat dipshit guy like me. A long time ago, after Spencer left to go to the military, I sat there and I realized to myself that I had nothing to look forward to anymore. And I literally was about ready to just end it all. I was sitting in my mom and dad's house, and I was literally just gonna just end it all. And I met this girl who Skyped with me, and she video chatted with me. It was Jo. She literally saved my life, but she doesn't think she ever did. Yeah, she saved my life, but she doesn't think she did. She didn't think that she did anything to save my life. She doesn't, she doesn't think that. She doesn't see it. But I was literally about ready to just blow myself away that night. I was literally gonna just do it, and I didn't really know, what my parents were gonna say and what was gonna happen. I didn't really know, what to think or what to do. I was just literally about to go out and do it. So I went. Jo called me, and then all of a sudden the call dropped. And I went outside with a shotgun, and I aimed it to the floor, and I pulled the trigger, and I shot the shell into the ground. And then I shot a .243 into the ground as well, because I just didn't want to have, because those were the only two shells that were in the house. And I cleaned out, and I put the guns in the cabinet. Yeah, I put the guns in the cabinet, and I just said, no, I don't want to do this. And, yeah, I said, no, I don't want to do this. And I don't even know if Jo still has the guns or not. I have no idea. I don't even know who has them. I don't really care. I don't want them. Because if I have them in my possession, I'm probably going to do something stupid. Yeah. But and then all of a sudden I came back in the house, and I heard the Skype thing going off, and I answered it, and there was Jo. And she said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Well, I'm okay. I didn't do anything stupid." And she said, "Okay." And then I talked to her. And she said that the call cut out because of her internet, or something was wrong at her house in England. And I just basically said to myself, well, maybe it was a good thing that you talked to me. There are times that I sit here and I think about Jo and that day. And I just wish that I could have that back. There are times that I wish that Joe and I could just have the relationship that we had. You know, I see things about Ruby posting stuff, you know, and having, you know, just posted pictures on herself and everything. And I want to comment and tell her that she looks, you know, I'm proud of her because she's growing up and she's growing up. She's, you know, being a successful woman and, you know, becoming a woman now. But I don't want somebody to say things like, you know, I'm crazy, I'm weird, you know, I'm talking about my stepdaughter, or I was talking about my, you know, stepdaughter in that kind of way. But, I mean, Ruby is pretty and she's a very beautiful girl. And I hope she grows up to be whatever she wants to be. I want to help her find a car. I want to do stuff with her, like teach her how to drive a manual. But I just want to be happy. And I want Joe to be happy too. But Joe wants to go home. She don't want to live here no more. Minnesota's not her place. No, she wants to go back to England. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's not a damn thing wrong with her wanting to go back to England. So, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get enough money together so that I can get her back to England. Now, for the apartment and everything else, I want to pay off all the bullshit for the apartment so that Joe can get out of it cleanly. We throw all the stuff away that we don't need, and she takes, you know, her stuff back to England in a big container, and she finds a house where she starts over. She just takes her clothes and her suitcases. She goes back to England, she starts over. If it's with me or without me, I just want her to be happy. A lot of people, they actually say, Jack, that's really kind of hard. Because how can you be with a woman that did what she did? But I'm like, you know what? It was probably all my fault anyway, and it is. It's probably my fault. And you want to know something? I'm the one that's going to take responsibility for that. Because I am. Because I'm going to take responsibility for what happened, because I think that Joe, you know, I think Joe got through our relationship just like any other woman should. She had to deal with 3 kids. And I was the biggest kid of them all. I mean, Ruby and Louie, they both grew up to be very intelligent, and I'm the kid that grew up with, you know, with some kind of special ability to where I wear the helmet, or where I just feel like I'm never there, never good enough. And I got through it, you know. I don't know, man. A lot of people that used to be friends with me on my Facebook page aren't friends with me anymore because they don't like having me come on Facebook and talking about, you know, blowing myself away and getting mad about myself and everything else. Well, the thing is that I'm not really going to do it. I don't really want to do it. It's just that I talk about it because it's right there, and it's not something that I want to go through with, because, you know, why would I go through, or why would anybody want to go through with something like that? I mean, it's just, you know, one of those things that happens. You know, you live your life every day till it's like your last day on this earth, and you don't really have anything to look forward to, so you just keep on going. Because if you keep on going tomorrow's a different day. That's just what I say, But, that's exactly how I feel. Every day I get up, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think that I did anything wrong. I've had problems, I've struggled, but you want to know something? I got through the day. So you know what? Let's just make the most out of what we got and go from there. That's what I do. So yeah, that's what I do, because that's how I feel. Every day, there is not a day that goes by that I don't feel like there is something that I could have done more of, or something I could have done differently to, make it in this world. But, I didn't, because I didn't want to try. I just did what I could. And, you have people who sit here and they tell you every day, Jack, you're a different kind of guy. Just live your life and be happy. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to live my life and be happy. Why can't you be happy for me? What have I ever done to you? That's the question that is on everyone's mind. Is how do you go about living your life and realizing to yourself that you've done the wrong thing? You've made wrong decisions in your life. You've done all kinds of things. But you just feel good about yourself, because you know what? If you don't go through the day feeling good about yourself, then you're never going to feel good about yourself. You're always going to be upset. I'm going to hit this boat right here. I want to see how bad this is. Yeah, there's a jump right here. Yeah. Brace yourself for impact. Oh! Woo! Holy crap! Woo! That was a bit bumpy. That was like a roller coaster ride. Holy crap. I've hit that bump in my Mini Cooper before, but it didn't feel like it did in this damn thing. Holy shit. Anyway. But that's what I'm trying to get at. And, I think I'm just going to start living my life for me. But, I told Abby today that I wasn't going to come see her because I got to work on my car because it started acting up. And I really felt bad. And she said everything was fine. But I don't know what that means. Because when a woman says it's fine, sometimes it never is. I mean, I've been in a relationship when women say they're fine, they're not fine. It's like the same thing with guys. You ask us if we're fine, and we're not fine. But it's just one of those things that you have to understand. There's a lot of things in this world where people realize to themselves that they make a choice. You can live your life day by day and get through the chronicles of life and figure out what happened and learn from it. Or you can do the superior thing and try to change everything that happened in your chronicles of life and live your life for yourself. And I think now that I've been married, been in a relationship, I've realized to myself that the best thing to be is alone until you find that special someone who comes to you and says, I want to be with you. But I've never, ever said to myself that I'm ever going to find that. Because I don't think any woman wants to be with a guy like me. I think I'm going to be, that lonely bear who rides the bike in the circus just to make people laugh every once in a while and go on living my life. I'm not going to have a comedy special. I'd love to, but nobody laughs at my jokes. So I'm just going to keep doing these videos and doing these diaries and just taking it day by day and realizing to myself that I could do better. Because there are things that happen. There are life-changing things that can happen. Now the question is do you want to take those life-altering things and try it? Or do you want to keep on living the life that you have right now, which doesn't get you anywhere? There's just a lot of things that you have to realize in your life, and when you realize it, you don't know what you got until it's gone. But 90% of the time, you can feel like you're living for yourself, or you can try to feel like you've done everything and there's nothing to look forward to. But you don't have any mental illnesses. You don't have anything that you struggle with except for depression. So you don't really have anything that's wrong with you. No. You just don't have anybody to lay down at night with. You don't have a woman to put it in. You don't have a woman who's DTF. You don't have anybody who wants to be with you. So you just think that you're going to die alone. Like the song says, I never thought I'd die alone. I'd laugh the loudest, who'd have known. I traced the cord back to the wall. Too bad it was never plugged in at all. I never thought I'd die alone. 6 months I'll be unknown. Yeah. But the thing is that it was never anything that was done by my parents. Please tell Mom this is not her fault. That's the song by Blink-182. It's called Adam's Song. It's my life story, basically. Because sometimes the thing is that I just really don't know what I want to do with my life. No one ever knows what they're going to do with their lives. I mean, shit, we used to listen to a song back in the day called Wear Sunscreen. And it was some guy talking over music. And we thought that was pretty cool. But it was actually a life lesson. It was actually a truthful thing that people just don't understand. That there was actually a meaning behind it if you actually really looked into it. Or listened to it hard enough. But there's always life lessons that you're always going to go through, and you don't know whether or not you feel like you're ever going to share it with somebody. Sometimes you sit at home in your house and you wonder, am I ever going to die alone? Or am I going to have an elderly woman in my life who's going to be next to me rocking out on my porch? Or is it going to be like the movie Up, where the guy is happy to be with the woman of his dreams, and then she dies at the end, and then he just loses all, respect, But there was a time that when I met Jo for the first time, I thought she was going to be the one. I thought she was going to be the one that I was going to die with. But we all know that that's not the case, But anyway, I'm not really worried about it, bro. I'm not. I really am. There comes a time in a person's life when he needs to realize to himself that he's done everything that he possibly can do. And sometimes he realizes that you can't rewind the tape even if you put a pencil inside of the tape and turn it backwards. It'll never rewind. You can't flip the sand over in the hourglass and expect it to, refill. It's done. Because it's ran out of the bottom. Sometimes life throws you curveballs. And sometimes you just have to sit there and think to yourself that, you're a good guy. And you know what you want. And you feel like you've hit rock bottom. You feel like you've been at the end of your rope, and you still realize that the stool's at the bottom of your feet. So you take the noose off of your neck and you stand there and you say, hey, thanks for letting me have another day. You put the shell in the gun and then you pull the trigger and nothing happens. And you say, thanks for letting me have another day. Because sometimes you just have to understand that maybe it's not your time to go. And sometimes you go out there and you do what you love to do, and then you end up losing your life, or someone takes yours. So my final thought tonight about this podcast is that every day is one of those days where you just don't take everything for granted. Every day you live your life to the fullest. Every day you thank God when you wake up. You say, God, thanks for giving me another day. Or thank God I woke up. Thank God I realized to myself that there's more to life than just meets the eye. Should I order that stuffed crust pizza from Domino's, or should I get it from Little Caesars? Or should I eat what's in the refrigerator? But my biggest thing is that the best advice that I can ever give you is basically love yourself before you love somebody else. I mean, life is too short to worry about things. But we all work hard in the off season. We all do what we have to do. Or we just go out there and take it day by day and day by day. There are guys that clean up garbage bags. Yeah. They pick up garbage bags inside of garbage cans. And they love that job. They have no problem doing it. They just say fucking A every day. and they get money and they go and do it. You know what I want to do for a job every day? I want to talk to you guys. I want to be Camo Claus 365 days out of the year. I want to do stuff. I want to be happy. I want to be with you everywhere. Nah, I want to be with you everywhere. I don't know. But as I close out here in my final minutes, I just want to say, guys, I love you guys. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to come into your house and talk to you. You know, you could be anywhere in the world right now, but you decided to watch Jack's show tonight. Nobody really commented, but everybody liked it later. So I just want to say thanks again. I love you guys.